As you take a break. Yep, and you basically can't say a darn thing. All right, just before we went to break here, we were watching this exchange with Rachel on the stand, and it's interesting seeing the feedback. Okay, not feeling her, she's getting testy, she's making me mad. Oh, no, wait a minute. The lawyer's so inappropriate. Why is he going there? He's totally, like, putting her in a bad position. I mean, this is really fascinating to watch this unfold and watch people react and kind of go back and forth on which side they're taking.
Yeah, but you know what? I can't help but wonder whether the narrative is getting lost in all of this. There's really two issues that are going on simultaneously. One is in the world of the legal realm, all of the motions and legalese and the lawyers needing to introduce elements or a defense in the case. But the other has nothing to do with that. It's all about persuasion and the theater of trial. And in this particular case, let's get our footing again. We're still in the prosecution's case. Yet this witness has been up on cross-examination for hours now.
It's like they're getting annoyed with each other.
Well,
I don't see theater. I see people getting annoyed, and now you've lost focus.
They tune out.
The defense didn't really have a narrative, and the problem is you don't ever want to get handled by a 19-year-old kid. And occasionally that seems to be what's happening. I think he made a really terrible leap there when he said, well, obviously this is an assault case. He needed to massage that in more, because as bad as Rachel Jeantel has been all day, she was very clear on saying no. If this was a fight that Trayvon was getting into, he'd have said something. And I think that was a mistake for the defense to let her say that so clearly.
Yeah, and we need to be clear about what it is the defense wants to do here. Number one, discredit her to the extent possible, to say, look, she plays fast and loose with words. She's imprecise. Perhaps she lacks emotional intelligence and she's therefore unreliable. And then, if you can, get something out about Trayvon being aggressive. That's what this is about, and it's getting lost.
Our contributor Mel Robbins joining us out of Sanford now. Mel, what's your take on all of this?
Well, there's a lot to talk about. I mean, I think I'm going to bottom line it by saying I personally don't think she's lying. I think that she may have some of the facts mixed up, but I don't think she's making stuff up. And it was a critical error on West's part when he tried to get her to admit that Trayvon then started the fight. And you could see, based on her reaction, that it was just absolutely, positively not true. And when she pushes back on the transcripts, I think it's believable that what was happening. Do I have my mic?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think your mic is dropped down. We're hearing you, but did you find your mic, Mel? All right, look, while Mel looks for her,
my mic is.
That's okay, look for your mic, because here's what we're going to do. We've got part of Rachel's testimony yesterday, and then we're going to look at part of Rachel's testimony today and just compare her tone and the difference in her tone, and we'll have a discussion about it.
Are you okay this morning?
Yeah.
You seem so different than yesterday. I just think we should plan on at least a couple of hours.
What? Excuse me, speak quiet. First of all, Crump is not law enforcement. He's not an officer. I knew that he was not an officer.
What did he tell you that made you think it was a racial event?
Somebody just watching him.
Are you sure those were the words that Trayvon Martin said, or could you have been sort of trying to figure out what was said, and that's what you came up with?
I'm sure.
So, biggest difference for you guys?
Obviously, she went home. She said she just had a good night's sleep. Obviously, she got choked. She got coached last night. And it was funny because, you know, Wes is like, well, are you okay? Are you fine? Basically, he was saying, well, you're not being grumpy this morning, and it's hurting my cross. I need you to be the girl you were yesterday. And she's much more organized and much more eloquent this morning.
But she's testy.
You know what?
Eloquent? Really?
More so than yesterday.
She seems angry to me.
Testy. Testy for sure, but I've got to disagree. I don't think that he needs her to be the one to be the person she was yesterday. Let's not forget, cross-examination is supposed to be the defense lawyer essentially testifying and eliciting nothing but yes or no answers from the witnesses. And God forbid you ever ask a witness to explain or why they did something, because they've been waiting to tell you why for a long, long time, and they're going to beat your brains in with that. And that's a rule that West has violated many times. And I think he actually does better when she's docile. Today, we got a lot of yes, sir, no, sir. It was a whole different deal, though.
Look at her there. Mel, jump in.
For me?
Yeah, go ahead, Mel. Jump in.
Okay, great. So here's the thing. Like, She's suppressing anger. I've been sitting in the courtroom watching her, and we're talking about a 19-year-old, and if you look at the comments online, she's getting bullied because of the way that she talks and because of what appears to be, you know, maybe a lack of intelligence, which I don't know that that's true. She strikes me as somebody that knows exactly what she knows about that night. She may have said it slightly different ways, but that doesn't change the fact that she believes what she believes. And what I see is a 19-year-old that's slowly getting beaten up by West and that's suppressing a ton of anger. And don't forget, this is like a friend of hers that got killed, and she's the last person that talked to him. And so one of the things, though, that I noticed in court today is that B29, that's the, one of the jurors who's, yes, does not look at Rachel at all. She stares at the attorneys, very rarely looks at her. And what's going on here is that, make no mistake, it's the attitude that she's displaying and the lack of respect and the anger that is turning off certain jurors, not what she's saying.
Okay, Matt, we'll get back to you. Continue our discussion and live coverage of the George Zimmerman murder trial right after this.